In our previous lecture, we talked about the different text attributes we can adjust and change within the text within our labels. One of them we touched upon, as you can see here, is our font size. Now this gives us the ability to change the current font and the current font size being displayed within our label, which was great. But what we were limited to was the different fonts that we can display. We only could display the custom or the standard fonts, the custom ones that we have within Xcode, such as Times Roman numeral, Arial, Helvetica, and even Comic Sans. We were very limited to what we could do. In this lecture, we're going to take it a step further and we're going to install our own custom fonts within Xcode. And then we're going to talk about how we can display them within our labels. So by doing this gives us the ability to customize our application and kind of make it look different from all the apps that are currently out there online. So on my desktop here, I have my own custom font. I believe it's pronounced Bibasnu, I'm not quite sure on that. But I got this online from a website called dafont.com. You can go check that out. And you can see it's quite a big, bold and blocky font. Now I have the font file on my desktop, as you can see here. It's a .otf format. And within Xcode, we're going to load it up now. And what we're going to do is simply get this font and we're going to drag and drop it just underneath our info.plist. And we're going to make sure we add it to all of our targets and that we select destination copy items if needed. Now what this does is simply it creates a copy of the file and places it within our project. You need to do this because if you don't do this, it's going to reference the file on the desktop. And when you go to submit your application to the App Store and it builds and runs on your user's device, when they go to load it up, it's going to try and find that file. And it's on your desktop and they can't reach it. So you need to make sure you copy items if needed, as it creates a brand new reference within the project. And once you've done that, you're going to then press finish. Okay, so we've now got our font or our custom font file within our project. There's a few more configurations we can do or we need to do before we set it all up. So this is going into our info.plist, our property list. Select the bottom line and press enter. Now we need to make our project aware that this font file exists and that we can use it within our project. So what we type out within our new line here is fonts provided by the application. So this adds a new line and gives us a new drop down menu with our item here. And within the string, you just simply type out the file name of your custom font, which in my case is Bibasnu. Just making sure you get it all case sensitive, spelled correctly. .otf. So again, let me just double check I spelled that correctly. Yep. And add that in. Okay, now simply press Command and B, which then build your application just to make sure it understands it's in there, it's all configured, and we can reference it. Okay, so we've done that. We're now going to jump into our main.storyboard. We're going to create a button. Now, the only reason we're creating this button is so that we can press it and trigger our label to display and use this new custom font. So we can see it happen right in front of our eyes. So within the main.storyboard, underneath all the remaining objects we've added in, so we're going to drag and drop in our new button. And I'll rename this custom font. There we go. So we're going to bring up our assistant editor. I'll quickly select in our files owner. So make sure it brings up the correct one. And at the very bottom, we're going to drag and drop it over. Select it as an action. And I'll name it custom font. And connect that up. Okay then. So the button's now got an action and we can now simply use it. So we're going to close our assistant editor and back into our standard editor. And an interesting thing is, now that we've added it in, you would see that if we select our font here or our label, go down, that when we go to our fonts here, we change it to custom. Now remember what it's called, Bibasnu, you will find it within the list, as you can see just there. And if I select it, you can now use it within the interface builder. So this is now it's added, you can use it as a default font pre-selected within our interface builder. But this is not what we want to do in this example. We're going to set it anyway to make sure that we can trigger at any given point. We want to see it do it right in front of our eyes. So if I set it back to what it originally was, there we go. So back again within our viewcontroller.swift, we're going to scroll right to the bottom now. I'll space it all out so it's a little bit easier to see. space out our custom font button here. So again, this works just like what we've done when we set our custom font at the top. What we're going to do is get, again, our label 2, as we're going to be working with that one, dot font, and that's going to equal our UI font, and that's going to be space bracket name, and the name of our font in the 2 quotation marks, which is Bebas New, and then the font size. Now I pre-selected our other one, our kind of Verdana, which is the standard font that we have within Xcode to 35, and that was pretty small. So let's go pretty big. Let's go 100. Let's see how big that displays within our label. So there we go. That would simply change the font itself. So if we go to build and run, and we're going to test it out now to see how it changes this newly added font within our project. So down to our custom font button at the bottom here. So as you can see, it's been displayed there with our standard font, and we press our custom font button, and bam, there we go. It's taken the custom font we added into our project. We've added it in, we've referenced it, made sure it's in there. It's taken it and changed exactly how it looks. So from this, we can create our own custom applications. We can make them stand out and look completely different to what's being currently made and displayed and sold on the App Store. So we can create a unique look for each of our own applications. Now we've got it all set up so we can change the text that gets displayed within it. So we're going to go straight up there to our text field, and we're going to add in a load of jibber jabber now. Go select it there. Let's put a load of A's in. Go down to the bottom. There we go. So you can see we can dynamically change the text like we could do before, but it's all working and all being displayed under our custom font. So there we have it. We can add in our own custom fonts and make our application stand out and look a lot better to what it does to the other ones in the App Store. And combine it with all the other features we added within our previous lectures, such as giving it a shadow. You can see it pops out and stands out a bit. Even moving how the text lines and even changing the colour. And we put back to our original font size and font style, and then back to our custom one. So there we go. They're all the little functions and attributes we can add to our objects and even our text to change how it looks and appears. So this is the last lecture using this current project and all the stuff we've added in. In the next coming lectures, we're using new projects as we learn about the different types of functions and the different types of stuff we can add in our applications before we eventually go on to creating our other apps throughout the course.